From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, today was the last hurrah, if you will, of the storm system that's been giving us the rainfall. Most intense on Monday, and then of course we saw a few thunderstorms on Tuesday, yesterday, and not to mention some activity out there today. But as we go through the night tonight, things are going to start to wrap themselves up as far as rain is concerned, and we'll be looking at drier conditions. Now, if we clear things out enough here for tonight and have calm enough winds, if we have the right ingredients, we could be looking at some pretty dense fog out there for parts of the valley. So this is something I'll be on the lookout for as we go into tomorrow morning. So be sure to watch, of course, the latest update in the morning once we start getting better idea as far as what's going to happen with that fog. And of course, we'll have a much better idea by the time we get into Coffee with Kruger at 6:30 tomorrow morning for your live update. So be sure to check that out as well. So we'll be watching for that fog. Otherwise, it'll be dry. It will be warmer. And we've got a warmer pattern going into the weekend with temperatures getting into the 70s for some of the warmer spots, especially in the valley. But then by early next week, we got a chance for some more showers. And on top of that, some colder air moving in. Now that's going to mean lower snow levels. And that's a good thing because we need more snowpack. Now looking at your forecast for tonight, what we're seeing here going into tomorrow, you got the mainly clear skies. So there's some of the fog that is being picked up by some of the forecast models here as we go inland, not to mention now towards Trinity County. Now we take you out into the valley, again, we could quite possibly, if we get enough clearing, see some fog. But as we go through the morning and into the afternoon, be looking at clearing skies and mainly sunny skies. Not to mention Siskiyou, Modoc County, and of course in the eastern mountains as well. So we look at Futurecast, and we're going to take you through the night tonight. Here we go into about midnight tonight. Now you can see just to the north of Redding, there may be a few showers, maybe a few snow flurries out near Mount Shasta City to the north of that, right? Ski Park looks like in particular may see just kind of one last little punch of some snow. Then we go into tomorrow morning, and this is where things could get interesting. Now, Futurecast, last few days has been picking up on the potential for some fog. Looks like mainly for the north and making its way into the west side of the valley. Bottom line, it depends on what those winds decide to do. Because if we've got those clearing skies and those calm winds across the board, you're talking some pretty dense fog in the valley. But again, even some of the mountain valleys, inland valleys, could see some of that fog as well. And then going through the afternoon, of course, it depends on how dense that fog is. The more dense the fog is, the more difficult it is for it to burn off, and it'll take longer. But if it's not very dense, then it doesn't take very long. So we'll call it partly cloudy skies for your Thursday. But check this out. Look at this rain. All right, you see the rain approach, you go, okay, the rain's going to make its way here. But watch what happens as we go into Thursday night into Friday. It moves closer, and then it starts to inch its way back to the west. Now that's because the area of low pressure responsible for that, it's trying to move in, but it's being blocked by a ridge of high pressure. So it's being pushed down to the south and southwest. There's that area of low pressure right there. Okay, so there's that leading edge of that rain that we did see, or will see, that'll approach the coast but not quite make its way here on Thursday. And then this is where it will be by Friday. It will continue its track southward, and then after that will kind of kick itself off to the east. Now, what we're also watching is by Monday, so I think we'll be dry for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and possibly even Sunday. Then we've got this trough of low pressure right here. Now, some models are more aggressive with just how far south this comes, but bottom line, colder air moving in, we'll see a drop in temperatures. We'll also be looking at the potential for some rain and snow down to possibly as low as 2,000 feet and maybe locally lower. That dives down to the south a little bit more, but then this particular forecast model is going to dry us out by the time we get into Tuesday through Thursday of next week. But this could possibly be impacting our weather by the end of next week. Not only in the form of rain, but look at this deep trough of low pressure. That's got some colder air associated with it. So even though we're expecting fairly dry conditions through a good portion of next week, looking at the Climate Prediction Center's outlook for February 27th through March 2nd, we're in the green here, indicating that we have a better chance of seeing above normal rainfall. All right, if we were more in the gray in this color here, that would mean a better chance of it being drier. So there's at least still some hope that we're going to see some of that wet weather out there. All right, now I'm going to talk about that colder air. Here's that area of low pressure I was talking about, how it dives down to the south. Won't have much of an impact on our weather in the form of rain. But Monday, there's that first shot of cold air. Now, the main shot of cold air will be over the Pacific Northwest and just clip Northern California, but we'll notice it in our temperatures. We'll notice our temperatures dropping, and we'll notice it in those snow levels, should we get some moisture to squeeze out. But once that moves out, this is what I've got my eyes on right here. Now, we're still going a ways out, right? So for us to say this is exactly what's going to happen, a little hard pressed, although the long-range forecast models agree that for the most part, this is what we're looking at here. So you see where it's coming from. It's a cold air, a pocket of air. It dives down to the south. This is a very deep trough of low pressure. Now, a couple of things to take note. This is going to be the flow where the moisture is. So right there, you've got a nice stream of moisture going into Northern California. Then, of course, you factor in that colder air moving in behind it. You're talking about some low snow levels moving on in. And of course, that helps to support the Climate Prediction Center's outlook, the long range, for below normal temperatures most likely in the forecast. Okay, so we take a look at our wave heights for the rest of the day today. They actually start to drop, but then they go back up again going into tomorrow afternoon. And there's, of course, looking at Friday, and they begin to kind of pick back up again. So they're going to be kind of going up and down a little bit here, but still a little choppy at times. Those south winds at about 5 to 15 knots, waves from the west at 4 feet at 10 seconds, and from the northwest at 4 feet at 15 seconds. There's your high and low tide, your sunrise and sunset, and at this point, no alerts, at least just along the coast there. Here's what it looks like for tonight. Temperatures are dropping down in the low to mid 40s, but look at these temperatures overnight in the mountains. So this is indicating that we could see some clearing and cold temperatures. We're down to 27 for Susanville as well as Alturas, and in Siskiyou County, it looks like in the low 30s. Now for Trinity County, mid to upper 30s, but for the North Coast, in the low 40s. So let's take a look at your neighborhood forecast for Trinity County. There, of course, you can see temperatures are beginning to inch up. All right, beginning to get a little bit warmer out there. So we'll kind of average out in the mid 50s for Trinity County for your daytime highs. Now we take you out to the North Coast with about 60 in Fortuna, 62 for Blue Lake, and 59 degrees in Garberville. We take you up north, Smith River 61, 59 for Gasquet. There's Orleans with a high of 59, and right around 60 for Hoopa, and 62 degrees for Willow Creek. And your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, 56 for Happy Camp, 51 in Fort Jones as well as Gazelle, and there's Dunsmuir with a high of about 50 degrees. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, Tule Lake about 49, 51 for Canby, 8 and you'll top out at about 50, and looks like Alturas a high of about 51 degrees. And your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, Shingletown, 53, 48 for Chester, 48 for Janesville, and there's Portola with a high of about 50. And there's your Valley neighborhood forecast with temperatures expected to be in the low 60s. So we're warming up. We're getting out of the 50s. And you're going to notice it. It will be a warmer day for your Thursday. We take you up north, and there you can see 57 for Whiskeytown, 62 degrees for Redding. That's also the case for Red Bluff. And Palo Cedro, a high of about 63 degrees. So there's a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Now, not a lot of rain on the map. There is there. And we're talking dry conditions for Thursday through Sunday. Now, there's that chance for rain on Monday, but look at the temperatures. We're up to 71 Saturday, but we're back down into the 50s, mid to upper 50s by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And for the most part, it's looking like it'll be dry Tuesday, Wednesday, but stay tuned if you have outdoor plans because that may change.